Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black. Thank you for joining us for yet another mod spotlight. As you can probably still hear in my voice, I am still a bit sick from the new year, so please permit a bit of rasp and the occasional cough, and the fact that I'm going to try to knock this all out in one take, like I'm also going to try to do for Phoenix Point shortly. So if I'm not quite as articulate and I stumble over words, please bear with. Now, today we are taking a look at the Wasteland Loader Shack by TDX73. This is a player home mod for Fallout New Vegas located just to the southwest of the 188 Trading Post. And it is sort of a home and a half, because he makes very creative use of some of the vanilla assets by creating a sort of companion quarters of sorts out of the back of this wrecked out old dump truck here. And while there's not a whole lot inside of this area, it's more or less meant for you to leave your companions in here like we're going to do with Farsight now. I should note, however, that the entire mod, or I should say all the interior spaces at least, as well as some of the exterior, but I'll get to that, are all fully nav-meshed and companion-friendly. So, the only reason I'm leaving Farsight here is because the interior on the top level gets rather cramped and crowded, so I don't want him getting in the way and slowing things down. Anyway, I want to also praise this mod author for going to some effort to try to grant the illusion of there being an outside world past this mesh and this grate and the fence here. Not many mod authors do that. Really, Gary62 is the only one that I think really does that very regularly, so it's definitely worthy of some praise. Now, heading upstairs, or, well, there are no stairs, so I guess just to the upper level, we have the trespassers will be shot sign. Just add, if you can read this, you are in range, and you'll have my ideal perimeter defense warnings. And if my game will stop lagging, there we are. There are several interactable lights throughout the area. And before I go inside, let's take a quick step up here, because they've done something rather interesting with the bucket loader here of the crane. They've kind of turned it into a sort of sniper's nest of sorts, or a lookout tower. Rather interesting, I think. Another lamp is located up here, and it really gives you a pretty good vista of the area. My only criticism is that there's no real functional purpose to this space. It's really just here for flavor purposes, which is cool. But if this home were located in an area where there were actually, you know, enemies nearby that you might actually quite literally make use of this as a sniper's tower, I think that would actually give it a certain appealing functional dimension, but that's just my personal opinion. Some may disagree with me there because they don't want enemies nearby their home, and I completely understand that. Quick note also, being so near to the 188 also makes this a pretty convenient home for those doing hardcore playthroughs, because it does provide access to the gunrunners traders, to the merchant there, as well as to the food vendors. So as long as you've got the money to pay for it, you are pretty squared away in terms of your needs, even though this does not function, or rather feature its own garden or anything. So let's step inside, pardon me, to where I believe this mod really, really comes into its own and shines. This is where the best content is at. It's a bit cramped, like I said, but I love all of the minute attention to detail in here. The light from the rotating AC fan there is a favorite of mine. Let's get some more light in here. Pardon me. I'll kick this cold one of these days. The hot plate here functions as your campfire / stove, like a lot of other mods do. There's plenty of marked storage, and this corner here is my favorite in the entire home. For some reason, this visual right here just brings back all kinds of nostalgic sensations for Fallout 1 and 2. It really has that classic Fallout feel to it. I can picture, like, you know, Marcus, the super mutant, or one of the Brotherhood of Steel guys just standing here talking to me. So much kudos for successfully tapping that old nostalgic sensation. Now, there are two unique weapons that this mod introduces. There's this pickaxe, as well as oh man, sorry everybody, the Armageddon sawed-off shotgun here by Scott Mack, one of the Nexus's most well-known mod weapon creators. So let's take a quick look at that. Last time, I'm going to try. Requires 40 gun skill, 5 strength, does 73 DPS with 13 damage per shot. Or rather, 2.7 pellets, I should say. It is a 12 gauge and features a unique model as well as unique sounds. It's got a bit of that sort of ramshackle, home-built look to it, and I rather like that. So now let's take a look at the Pickaxe. Requires 25 melee skill, 3 strength, does 48 DPS, 14 damage, is only 2 pounds, and deals bonus limb damage. And I believe this is using the sort of static asset from base game for some of the pickaxes that you can just find laying around in places, but you can never really make use of. This allows you to. So if you ever really wanted to just go Minecraft on somebody and take a pickaxe to some ghoul faces, now you can do that. Anyway, this laptop back here functions as this home's sorter, and that will then put all of your relevant items into the marked containers throughout the home, of which there are several here. You've, of course, also got your workbench. Like one of the other homes that I spotlighted, this one makes a unique use of the workbench assets in that the actual ammo press machine here is your reloading bench, and the flat part of the workbench is your actual crafting workbench. So bear that in mind, don't get confused, because I did it first. Over here you have a little bit more free storage. I should note that all the storage in here is safe, so feel free to put stuff wherever you like. There are a few bits of custom decor here. And this mirror over here, as one might expect, allows you to enter a limited version of the show race menu so that you can change your hairstyle and your facial hair. Now moving on, over here, we've got a whole lot of little touches in here that just make this feel very lived in. That's why I think this really comes into its own here on the interior. You've got a snow globe display made out of some of the basic game rack assets there. Over here, I was wondering whether or not this pipe would provide like pure water or something. I don't believe it does, so if the mod author is planning any future updates, I might suggest that. The doctor's bag back here in the corner functions as your auto dock, so you can heal yourself, restore damaged limbs, remove rads, the usual works. I like the train lights, or rather traffic lights I should say here, as the back corner. Your medical storage is located here, and a little touch is that not only can you open the trunk to store whatever you like in here, you can also sit on it. I'm not sure why you'd really want to, because this is such a cramped area that attempting to do third person, well, that's the best I've actually gotten it to work ever. So you're usually just going to be limited to first person. So this isn't the best for screenshot taking, I suppose. And uh-oh, I'm stuck. There we go. Okay. That really about covers the bulk of this mod. It's, like I said, it's pretty small, it's pretty compact, but there's a lot of charm packed into this little space here. It's a bit small for those that like to have a whole cadre of followers joining them for, pardon me, all of their Mojave adventures, but if you really want a player home with some character to it, I can hardly suggest this more. Now, I should note that I have had some difficulties in recording this spotlight. I am not sure, I will not say, that the crashes I have experienced in the last couple of days were caused by this mod. However, they did coincide with my installation of it. Now, I usually try a couple of different mods at a time when I plan on doing several spotlights in bulk. So it could easily be any one of those. But if any of you guys also have stability issues with this, do please let me know, or just leave comments in the comment section of this video. That way, if it is an issue with this mod, others can know. But don't misconstrue that as my saying that this mod has issues. I'm just giving you guys fair warning. Other than that, I am Mr. Black. Thank you for joining us for another mod spotlight here at Last Level Press, and I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.